First of all, thanks James for coming down and speaking to us about what we're trying to do. Obviously everyone's going to know how, sees the glamorous side, titles and all that stuff, but we want to strip it back to kind of the dedication and hard work you put in prior to that. So not many people are going to know, but I do, how good you are at many sports. And we've seen that it was cricket, long distance running, and football growing up. So first of all, what made you choose football over them?
I think, football, first game was like when I was 9 years old. Played the first ever game, we lost 16-2 actually. And I think we won 2 games all season.
You scored the 2 though? Probably.
1 assist, 1 goal actually, yeah. But 16-2, wasn't a great start, won 2 games all year, then that team disbanded, and then the next time I played year up, was it under 12? So I was 9 playing under 12s a few years up. And we managed to win league that year, so it was a bit better. And then basically around that time, it was just obviously when there was no football in the summer, there was something else to do. Okay. So that's when cricket came in. Obviously football season was off, enjoyed playing cricket, played cricket in the summer for school and a local team called Horsforth. Running was again something, my dad was pretty good at it, but I just like something was all right at. I used to get probably more nervous for cross country than I did for football, because I was okay, I was winning and people expected you to win and you're on your own, so it's that. Yeah,
and plus you're playing 3 years up, so there's only so much expectation in football.
Yeah, it was different. And then, and then basically I got a phone call from Everton saying, do you want to come on trial?
Okay.
And yeah, great. So before that point, I didn't even think about being a footballer, it was just like just playing, didn't even enter my head. And then I was meant to have a trial around Christmas time, it got called off because of the snow and didn't know anything after that. And then about 3 months later, I got a phone call from Leeds.
It's biggest regret for Everton, probably, you know what I mean, not calling you back.
And then, obviously Leeds was buzzing with that, massive Leeds fans, and then went on trial there.
And you was what, 10, 11?
10, 11, yeah. So I had a trial there and then signed for them at the end of the day and then was there full time.
And how fast through the pathways did you go there? Like, was it progression the same as obviously, or was it faster than you expected, slower? Or?
No, it was pretty standard for me. I mean, obviously, I know Wayne Rooney was the same sort of time, and I played against him probably 11, 12 years old. Our teams Everton were a very good team, we had a very good team. I think we lost like once in 2 years.
You and Wayne in the same team at like 14, and that's not fair, that.
Well, we played against each other, and then he disappeared about 12, and like we're just wondering where he went, and obviously he was playing 5, 6 ages above himself and that. But obviously it was class back then. But I was pretty standard, 11, 12s, 13s, 14s. And then obviously I think I played under 17s a few years earlier, so I was playing 13, 14, maybe 14 under 17s. I remember playing...
So like year 10?
Maybe something like that, yeah. I remember playing the Youth Cup pretty early, which didn't go down well with a few of the full-time scholars, because obviously Youth Cup's a massive thing.
Oh, of course,
And I was still at school then, so I was brought in. We lost to Liverpool, actually, 1-0, I think, at Ellen Road. But that experience was obviously good. And then I remember, did I play under 19s that pre-season? We were on tour in Scotland. So I've just done my GCSEs, left school.
So 15, 16.
16, left school, done my GCSEs, and then I remember because we started training, my dad went and got my GCSE results for me. Nervous, he saw me before me, you can't even lie, can you, if you've done badly. So it was one of them, I did all right in that. But I was on a tour in Scotland with the under 19s, and they were sending me home, and I was like, it was like preaching, I was like, have I done something wrong? And that was like, no, you're just going to play a lot of football this year. And I was like, obviously you don't really know what's going on at that point, a bit disappointed in that. And then I come back, and then the next week was training with the reserves for the first time.
And what was that like? Did you start to realise then how serious it was?
Not really, no. I mean, obviously, you're just getting on with it, really. You're just playing with different teams. I remember my first session, I think there was David Batty one side of me. We had people like Olivier Decor, and I mean, the Resis that time was.
Yeah, I was to say, Leeds was like a big team.
We played one Resi game, and Robbie Fowler made his return from injury, and I think it was like 9,000 people there.
I was the same
against Liverpool.
At Wolves, one of my first games for the reserves, Steve Ball come back, so they had to open up 2 stands, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? And we played Bolton, and it was Ricardo Gardner and Good Johnson up front, and it was like, this was amazing. And that's when I kind of realised.
But that prepared you. I think that's what was a good thing about reserve team football was then you had your team, and then if they didn't play, you played reserves. It was standard. So like the reserve team I played in, there was like Nigel Martin, Gary Kelly, a few good young players, Matthew Kilgallen, Fraser Richardson, David Batty, Decor now and then when it might have been coming back from injury, Fowler. I mean, the strikers we had were Viduka Smith, Fowler, Robbie Keane,
Bridges
coming back, and what a player he was. Unlucky with injuries. I'm probably doing a few misservice here by forgetting them, but like the education there. So I remember being in the square the first time, looking like one side, and we were just thinking, wow.
And what were they like? Were they helpful? Like,
yeah, they were good. The players were really good to me, and I remember the first session with them, and then the first team was pretty quick, in between, and couldn't believe the pace of it. Could not believe the pace, and obviously the pace that compared to now has gone up and up, but it was like just couldn't breathe. And like I was quite fit.
You had to say if you can't breathe, then we're struggling.
But like that step up.
How old are you though now?
So I'm 16. So I'm 16 with first team. It's like wow. And then so that was early on in the season. Travelled with the team a few times. And probably 4 or 5 times.
And what were they? Were you like the rest of us, like making teas and doing?
Standard boots. So I had like the under 19 captain's boots, Eric Backer and Fraser Richardson, I think. So I cleaned them boots, balls, drinks, all that lot. First team after
catering
the game.
for the first team. Standard how we.
And that's how you needed to do it. Picking kit up off the floor. And then Wazza actually scored. Rooney scored. Everton at Ellen Road, and I was in the squad but not on the bench again. And I remember Steve McGregor was sat next to me, the fitness guy, was like, "You're desperate to get on here, aren't you?" And play. And then lucky enough, I was on the bench, West Ham away a few weeks later, and we were 4-1 up, I think. 4-1 up, and I thought, I'm definitely getting on here. Then it went 4-2, 4-3, and Venables was like, "Go on, you're going on." First thing I did, Bell gave me, I'll blame Lee Bowyer here, but he gave me an alright pass to be fair, but I'll blame it was Bobley. Tried to pass it first time, straight to Di Canio. So here we go, now put it up at bar. So after the game, Bell was like, "Did you have a bet on 4 all you or something?" And that was my debut, and then luckily enough I scored a couple of goals.
Lucky enough,
Well, it happened quick, but like looking back now, you think how young I was. But we played Chelsea. No, we played Sunderland away on the 23rd of December. And I scored there, come off the bench after about half an hour. Someone got injured, scored, and then played Chelsea at home on the 26th, 3 days later, and came on again after half an hour.
So how long from you leaving school to making your debut and scoring was that time scale?
So I left school, what is it, May or whatever. Started pre-season, so like 4 months.
You was playing and scored goals for the first team?
Yeah, so I remember
debut. And as I say, this is not like Leeds when...
months.
This is not Leeds now in the greatest respect. This is Leeds like prime time. Like they were buying the best players against the best teams, weren't they? They were like...
Yeah, I mean the year before it was Champions League semi-final.
That's what I'm saying.
So
like, this was no... Rio just gone, had he?
Rio just gone. Champions League semi-final. I remember we were ball boyed, and like that one where Dida dropped it through his legs, like absolutely hammered it down, like ball boyed for all that. The nights, like amazing.
And at that time, you're not thinking next year I'm going to be playing with these.
No, obviously you don't think that, do you? I mean, it's
crazy.
But then, I mean, it's a bit about luck and opportunity as well. I think timing. I think Venables to have the balls to put a young lad in. There was one, I played a couple of games coming off the bench before I scored the 2 goals, and he pulled me in his office and he said, we had Spurs away, he says, "You're not travelling this week, you're not wrong, but I'm just taking you out, give you a rest." I was like, fair enough. Went out to train, one of the boys got injured, so you're travelling. Travelled not on the bench in the stand, fine, expected it. In the warm-up, one of the boys got injured, got on the bench, brought me on, 20 minutes left, set up a goal, and then that
was it.
Again.
But that's the thing, like you could see the pathways when we were younger, like you was in the reserve, so you knew if you got injured, I'm going to play. I'm going to play. So you not praying, but you kind of could see it more clearer than nowadays. It's like 5-6 players that got injured before a young boy gets through.
But then you got to have the manager to give you the chance.
Yeah, 100%. But obviously you've got to have not only the ability, but for me, like I realised that I got respect from the older players, not through my ability, through my attitude and application to it. I was never late. You never taking the piss. You're always giving 100%, and as soon as you do that, I think that's when you get more respect. And obviously, knowing and working with you, that was you've always had that work ethic, but Do you think that?
I think even going back to like the jobs and that, because there's other young lads who were in the squad who didn't help with the kit after the games and stuff, and I was playing and I did it. And I remember the first time then the kit man, I'd probably played 20 games, and the kit man was like, go and get yourself on bus. I mean, in between that, it was my birthday, January the 4th, FA Cup game. I think we played Scunthorpe away in FA Cup, and all Leeds fans were singing happy birthday. When I come on, it was unbelievable. I'm going to put my tracksuit on after the game. I couldn't get my leg in it, like what's going on. All lads cut my gear up.
Out
in like no gear, but it was just like class. But I think, like you say, I think the boys respected that. Even though I was playing and stuff, I was still cleaning the boots of even like the other guys. Under 19s captain, I was cleaning his boots.
And you was playing ahead of him.
And it was just like,
it was the norm though.
Just a respect thing, and that's I think that stood me in good stead.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously speeding through now to you're playing for Leeds, you're regular, and then you're leaving. They go down and you're leaving.
So the first year I think I made, I don't know, was it like 20 appearances maybe? But I only made one start. I was coming off the bench a lot. Made one start when we had no strikers, played up front. I can't remember who I played up front with. Might have been Harry Backer.
Of all the positions you've played, I'm saying I'm a better striker than you, to be fair.
Yeah,
I believe I'm
on FIFA, definitely.
On FIFA, a little bit more effective.
Depends what the game.
Some games not in the Champions League. I'm talking maybe Championship. I'm talking.
I'll give you that. Your finishing's decent, to be fair. I hope you've got a finishing.
I'm not even finishing, to be fair. I was thinking more like a target man, and you know what I mean.
Just causing mayhem.
Yeah, just causing havoc up there. But now going through then, so now you.
So then, so the manager changed, and at the end of the first year, Peter Reid coming in, he didn't really play me. Well, he was bringing other players on ahead of me.
Yeah.
And we got to the start of my second season, and I was fully out of it. Wasn't involved like on the bench or anything.
Yeah. And how's that? No.
That was hard because obviously I'd done well. New manager come in, just was like for whatever reason, and then got a phone call from the assistant manager one evening and said Swindon Town have come on in for you, which was the equivalent of League One.
League One now, yeah. So 2 leagues.
They want you on loan for a month. Do you want to go? And I was like, well, obviously I'm not going to sniff here, so I may as well. But it's quite a big shock at that time.
But again, knowing you, were they the first team?
That was basically, I went there because it was the manager's mate. Andy King was manager, and he basically said, look, it must be a favour, basically, because now I wouldn't have thought I'd have gone to League One.
You would have gone Championship. Yeah, of course. But if they're calling you, knowing you, I'm guessing that whoever that team was, the first team that calls and gives you the opportunity to play, you probably would have said yes.
But but it never even crossed my mind going on loan because you're just like whatever. You're not experienced it. You're a young lad, and then I obviously said went down there. I remember the missus ringing me. Like I've been with her like what was that? Nearly a year. She said, "Oh, what are you doing?" or whatever. So I'm just on my way down to Swindon. Going there for a month. Like, no, exactly. It was just
that's the way it happened.
Quick, and then played 6 games down. The King were brilliant. What a guy. We actually drew Leeds in the League Cup, which was unbelievable. I couldn't play, but watched it from the gantry, and that was a weird feeling as well. Paul Robinson scored last minute header. I don't know if you remember that goalkeeper. Scored header last minute to put him through. But I had 6 games there, learning curve, completely different, toughened you up again.
100%.
And then come back and.
So what did you was only going there for the month? You wasn't
just a month, 6 games. That was it. And I don't think you can do that anymore, can you? But
it's like it's got to go now. Like the loan window's the same as like the transfer window.
Yeah, and I know they'd made a few signings in the summer, hadn't really worked, struggling a bit the team. And I come back and the manager said, that loan's made you a better player or whatever.
And what did you think at the time? Would you think he was just saying it because he had to, or did you feel that?
Well, obviously now I know they were close friends, the managers. I know I'd done well. I scored a few goals at Swindon and done well. They were flying as well, so it was a good move for me. Enjoying my time there. Come back full of confidence again. Yeah. And then, it's for me massive, like proving people wrong. If anyone doubts you, that's what drives you, and you're the same as me. Yeah. You just want to shut the mouth. Basically.
That was one of the questions I was going to ask later on. Like, is there any kind of motivation you use, like a negative motivation that you use positively, like something that someone said that you thought that's definitely the opposite. I'm definitely going to prove you wrong
all the time. Yeah, that's one of the biggest drivers for me in anything. James will tell you, anyone like tells me I can't do anything or whatever. Like even golf, like so my short game is very, very questionable to say the least. But like, give me the easiest chip in the world and I'll struggle. But if someone says there's no chance of getting up and down here, I'll probably get up and down just because I want to prove them wrong. And whatever that reason is. And
like the mental strength,
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, so I come back and wanted to prove him wrong or whatever. He said, you know, that loans helped you, and then Eddie Gray coming after that, after Peter Reid, and Eddie, his son was my age all the way through from under 11, so he knew me really well.
Oh, okay.
He was amazing for me, coached me, amazing winger himself back in the day, unbelievable player. Took me for one-on-ones after training.
And that's the thing, like, so how often was you doing that?
So Venables Terry was really good as well, because he was saying, look, you're that young, obviously normally you'd be doing technique work in the afternoons, double session stuff like that, technique work at the academy, whereas when you go in the first team, it's shape, set pieces, this is how you play, and you're expected to know technique and stuff. So I missed that.
Yeah, you're expected to have that, So that all down that you've got to do that on your own.
So I've missed like 2 or 3 years, so he was like saying you need to do this work after, so I'd stay behind and do stuff, always doing shooting, crossing. My dad always said to me, one of the earliest things he ever said, and probably one of the best things, whatever you do on your right, do on your left.
I was saying,
anything.
It's crazy that you say that, because Paul Ince said that to me, but I was 22 then. Like, funny enough, I was right-footed until I was like 16, because my friends, no one was left-footed, so I didn't want to use my left because I thought no one else is using their left.
Yeah.
So then I went to Wolves, obviously using my left, and then it was Paul Ince come and said, whatever you do on your right, you need to be doing on your left, you need to be doing on your right. And as you said, it's
such simple advice, but probably the best you'll ever get as any player and any young player, I think. Like, obviously there's players like Messi can use both, but he's predominantly left, but he can go both ways, and I think you've got a player going at you and you know he's going down one way. You as a defender know better than anyone, I'll show him down here and I know it's less danger, whereas you've got a player who's equally good going both ways.
Well, even go to the other day, you're Mo Salah. You've just gone past that guy, Jesus, down the line. Everyone thought he's going inside.
It just looks so easy.
He's just gone down the line.
But the fact he could
do that,
confident to do that,
you know what I mean. So,
and it's not that easy.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you go back to them.
So that's not now. He's not
just learnt that now. He's learnt that when he was 16,
when
17.
When his Paul saw it, or his dad or whatever said.
100%. So obviously you're doing the sessions now, and this is off your own back. You're obviously in the first team. You're playing involved with them, and I know as much like first team players don't tend to do double sessions on their own. Like, majority of them kind of do what they need to be done, and then we'll go home.
Yeah, and I think it helped. I was like half living at the training ground, half not, because obviously as YTs you did. So in the afternoons, all the jobs are done. Go take a bag of balls up to the pitch on your own.
How many other players were doing that?
Free kicks.
Before you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say none. There might have been a couple.
But then obviously they see you doing it, and then the rewards of you doing it possibly then more kind of think, well, there's a benefit.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I used to try to do it on the sly and out of the way because you get called busy.
Yeah, you get called busy. That's what I'm saying. But now everyone's doing it for Instagram and social media. Now it's a thing that people do. But when we were coming through, it was like, I don't really want them to see me doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
But you still do it, and obviously you get the rewards from it. And then again, so you're playing Leeds now. You've gone to Newcastle, left Leeds. Obviously, I must have been hard being a fan, but.
Yeah, it was tough, and that happened so fast, and something like I wasn't really aware of. We'd been relegated, didn't really know what was happening. Come in first day of pre-season, would have liked to sign a new contract, and that's what was in my head. Yeah. Come in first day of pre-season, they said, right, you ready to go to Newcastle tomorrow for your medical?
Like, what?
Like, knew nothing about it. Like, that never happened now.
Obviously. So obviously, your agents normally know the rumour, speculation.
Not a clip, and then next day. Did first day of pre-season at Leeds, up to Newcastle, done.
Yeah. And it was only Newcastle, or was there other teams?
I think there was a couple of teams in London. I think Spurs were in at that time. I think, London had never appealed, especially at that age, I think. Newcastle being, an hour and a half away. I think the team they had then was a massive pull.
But how old are you still?
18.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So I'm 18 years old. I've played 2 years in the Premier League. Newcastle come in. Sir Bobby Robson, absolute legend. Some of the best players in the world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Lauren Robert. Woodgate was there. Jermaine Jenas. Shay Giver.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like Newcastle. Like when people say Newcastle, they're probably assuming it with now. Where back then they were like buying top
challenging,
players. You know what I mean?
And there's amazing European nights and things like that. So Shay, one of the best players. I've never seen it like it. We went first pre-season to the Far East and never seen anything like it.
You've never.
The clamour around him, and obviously as a legend.
Yeah, but you just don't know.
What he had to deal with, and watching him deal with that attention. To be fair, and how well he dealt with it, and the pressure on him just off the field. Was an eye opener for me there as well. I always remember that.
And how hard was he? Did he work hard at what he was good at, or what he wasn't good at?
Finishing was a joke. Slammed it with both feet. Obviously, his finishing was all power. Like didn't matter. Like you said, I mean, I was very fortunate at Leeds. Like we did shooting sessions a lot, and like I say, fouling. Like he was completely different again. Finesse, both feet. He'd scuff it and it'd go in bottom stanch every time. It don't matter. Catch it clean, top bin. Half scuff it, bottom bin in the stanch. Just natural, like unbelievable Vidukes, like the pinged whip. Off to an absolute tee. And then Shay, like I say, practice penalties before games, watching him do it, and he'd tell Shay where he was going, and he still couldn't get it. And then even there, like Clivert come and he's finishing again, like how hard he hit it was just ridiculous. Lauren Robert, free kicks, staying behind, watching him take free kicks. So that was just something.
There's obviously a pattern to what you're saying, is that the people that are good at and what they're known for, they work at it.
It's not a fluke. Bex,
Beckham. I remember being in the England squad, seeing him take a bag of balls an hour before we go to dinner in the hotel grounds. I'm thinking, where's he going? I used to look, and he'd just take the coach and go and just practice his free kicks and that on his own. And I'm just like, oh, that's fine.
Away from football in general is what made me turn up and just be able to play.